dance by the moonlight. You're my delight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have just started. Literally just started. If you was in here a few seconds ago, you would have seen the little shaker shimmy. Shake the shimmy. Shake the shimmy shimmy. Bless me. Bless me. Right, where are we? Where is the channel manager? Oh, let's close that down. I don't know if that's too loud for the microphone. I bet that picks it up. I bet that picks it up. Right, where is the your channel? We're live. There we go. How do I get onto it? I always mess this bit up. How is everybody? How is everybody? Let me know how you're doing. If you can see me, I need to get my channel manager on. Ah! Just my feeling is just so right. If I press that button, here we go. I could see all now. How is everybody? Give us a hello. Give us a hello. That is brilliant. Welcome in, guys. If you've got any questions about Amazon FBA, let me know. Oh, there we go. It's good to see you all. Good to see you all. We are, as always, on both channels. If you want to come and see the screen, you know where to go. Otherwise, ask. But it begins with Y. Hello. Is it Carrie and Sean? Or is it just one or the other? What do you want to know? But welcome in. It's lovely to have you here live with us. There's not many people on today, so you're welcome. I'm just trying to sort out different things because I was currently in the middle of editing the video for this Thursday at 8 p.m. So, welcome in. I'm on 2 channels, so if I do reply to a comment, it might not be technically on this channel. So, let us know if you've got anything you want me to go over, if you want me to show you how to do things. Ah, sounds like Karen, but yeah. Well, I'm the worst at pronouncing names. Tell you that now. I've had lots of different people come in and then they're like, that's not my name. So if you've got any questions, what do you want me to go over? Sounds like Karen, but Rin, not Karen. Like I say, we could go over anything you want. If you want to know about... Sorry, I'm just dealing with the other channel as well. If you want to go over anything, let me know. Is it sourcing? I know you're at the beginning of your journey, aren't you? So it's probably ungating, which is the problem, maybe. I can share my screen. Good day, Alfred. How are we? Let me know. Karen. I thought it was Carrie and then N Sean. But Karen Sean, I'm guessing. Is private label the way to go for beginners? I wouldn't recommend private label, Alfred. I would start with online arbitrage, retail arbitrage. With private label, you've got to start with quite a lot of capital. Some people simply don't have it, but the other thing is you've got a big learning curve when you are starting Amazon. So if you are starting Amazon, you want to start with the basics. So online arbitrage, retail arbitrage. But when I say it's basics, that doesn't mean you can't scale it. You can scale both of them to big significant figures. Even just retail arbitrage, I know sellers doing over 500,000 a year basically. So it's and retail online arbitrage that could be simply into the millions easily. So it's up to you, but I would recommend online arbitrage and retail arbitrage. Saying that, you have got to understand that you won't be owning the brand, you'll be buying branded products. So yeah, I hope that helps you, Alfred. When doing product research, I often see some FBA or more commonly FBM sellers selling a pack of 2, 3, 6, 8, etc. Can I jump on this listing too? Right, let's get the screen share up for you. So, you probably just seen me camera flirt off. So, if you was doing Amazon, you are going to go across a lot of different occasions, different listings. You've got to understand what the story it's telling us. So if you was doing packs of 2, 3, 6, 10, I used to do them when I was doing like more wholesale, so multi-packing. Let's have a pack of 3 links, for example. If you are doing Alfred, let me know if that answers your question about private label. How does online arbitrage work? So you're buying low and selling high. So you're going to be looking at like clearance items on. You're going to be looking for products on offer. So like 3 for 2s, different deals like that. You'll be purchasing them, sending them into Amazon, and then sell them at a higher price. I'm just going to be looking at one of these, Karen, just for purpose, yeah? If you had a preference of a certain ASIN you wanted me to look at, if you could pop it in here, but remember it is going to be shared. It is going to be saved, so other people might be observing this chat as well. So if you are going to give us a lead, well, not technically a lead, a product, some other people might be purchasing that product as well on top. So if you was looking at a multi-pack, the first thing you want to be doing regarding your question about FBA and FBM, you want to be checking this name here. So as you can see, this one, we have got links. If I show you a different listing, an example of a listing, pink stuff. Star drops, that's the wrong one. I don't know if this is still going to pop up with the what I'm after. Welcome, Warren. How are we? I'm just looking for an example for you, Karen. Let's see, let's see. Oh, it looks like the Star Drops have sorted the stuff out. Yeah, that's Star Drops as well. No worries. I'll go out. Let me know if I lose you, because I can go through pretty quick. Obviously, I have got Star Drops is looks like it's sorted. Let me try a different brand, because we're looking for multi-packs which are not actually owned by the brand, and I'm going to show you an example of that so you understand. Will I have to apply to sell those brand listings? Yes, Alfred, you will have to. You will maybe required to get what's called ungating. So if you get in ungated, you'll have to supply an invoice of 10 to 100 units, depending what Amazon ask for. And then Amazon will say, yes, you can sell that. And Amazon puts that process in place because they want to protect the brands, they want to protect their reputation. Looks like Oven Pride is done. I need to start doing some research on more examples for you, don't I, guys? Right, I'm now going to a unique bundle. So this is what, just for your example, Karen. Yeah, right. So as we were saying about them multi-packs, the first thing you want to check is the name underneath here. So as you can see, we have visit the link store. If you look at this Oven Prime, Mr. Muscle, whatever Oven Prime thing, what you can see here, this has got a different brand under. So this is actually what's called, somebody is doing what's called unique bundles. So they get a branded product and then they're going to sell generic items next to that branded product. It's getting heavily restricted at the moment, and as you can tell from the examples we've just tried looking at, you want to be aware that they are cracking down on it. So you don't want to be jumping on this listing. Somebody like me, a third party seller, is going to be that brand. So they would kick you off. They would say, your products are not my products. They will kick you off. They'll issue what's called an IP complaint, so intellectual property. So they're saying that you're selling their brand without their permission, but at the end of the day, they're selling somebody else's brand. But it gets confusing. So the first check you would be doing is checking this, making sure that brand on there is the correct brand, double checking the product, and if it says generic here, that's another tell to say avoid that product as well. If you are going to, like this links, you've got links under here, it's a links product, title says links, that looks all good. We could have a look at this product. We could see we've got FBMs all across here. I don't know if you've got Keeper. If you could let us know, this software I'm looking at, this is called Keeper. This is what we do to use for our analysis. You will have seen these charts on SellerAmp as well. And what you would be looking for is if there's been an FBA seller on this listing before. Like you can see here, we've had some sharp drops down, which would usually indicate somebody's been kicking them off the listing. But then it has steadied down. So what I would be doing, looking for on this product personally, I'll be looking at who's been selling this product, the Avant-Garde essentials, as you can see just there in the pink box. You'd be going across here, having a look and seeing if that's changed. We can see that Avant-Garde essentials has always been on this listing. And then if you have a listing like that, where it's just been one seller always selling, you could obviously look at the buy box analysis. Thank you for the follow, Aaron. And then you'd be possibly wanting to check this brand out. And Avant-Garde, they are a huge like distributor. So they will be selling a lot of these products, but sometimes it's worth checking that seller because they might be the brand themselves. I've got SellerAmp SaaS, just the cheaper sub for now. That's fair enough. You should still be able to access these charts. So if you're on your laptop, what you could do is just drag this over like that, and it'll just make this chart a little bit bigger so you can see it. You can also zoom in. You could open this chart here, so you could have a look at this, but you won't have that information who's been winning the buy box. So that'll be on a different chart on SaaS. You would be looking at this one here, the buy box analysis. If you don't see any of these on your SellerAmp, what you have to do is go on to settings and set that to active. So I can show you that now. Go on to settings, go to SaaS panels. You could turn your SaaS panels on and off, and that's a really good way of doing things. If you've got any questions, guys, let us know. If you want to come and join us on YouTube, oh, I shouldn't have said that. If you want to come and join us and see the screen, we're on YT. Just search FBA today. So this would be a little bit concerning with that Avant Grande only winning the buy box. What I recommend people, especially when they are starting, you want to be checking this buy box analysis, and if somebody's winning it 100% of the time, that is a sign to say stay away for now. And that's just at the beginning of your journey. When you start analyzing things a little bit further, you'd understand like more, you'd understand the exceptions as it would be. So you can see here we've got the not sharing it, well, they're sharing it on the 180 day, only just. They're not sharing it at the 90 day, they're not sharing it at the 30 day. So I would say that this product here is not a very good example, but it's not worth trying to list this one. If you, obviously I don't plan these lessons. If you've got any examples, I could have a look. I'll try and get a better example, not just an aerosol pack of 3. I'm just trying to think of, I don't know, links, body. There we go. I remember this being a listing quite a while ago. So if you are joining us, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, follow, whichever channel you're on. I do appreciate it. It does help out the chat. If you've got any questions, fire them away. I'm happy to answer all questions. Right, so Karen, if you're looking at this product, for example, we've got this Lynx body wash. Like I say, the first check is visit the Lynx store, so we know this is the correct listing we should be on. You would be then going down. Let's do it on Selleramp because you're not got Keeper. Yeah? Let's do it so you understand. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just making it more relevant to you. So what you'd be doing is you'll be putting your cost price here. Obviously, we could be buying it for whatever reason, whatever price. But when you're analysing it, you want to be checking this again. So here we go. We've got 30-day Avant-Garde Essentials. They're dominating the buy box on the 30-day. We're looking at the 90-day. The same again. They're dominating it. The 180-day. It looks like we've had quite a few sellers sharing that 180 days ago. But what this is telling me, from that 30-day and that 90-day, something might have changed. So Avant-Garde is the FBM seller here. So I am going to cheat a little bit. So I'm just looking here. The buy box has been switching from the FBM seller. So if I just do this, you can see the pink line. So as you can see here, this bottom line, this pink line, we've got Avant-Garde. That is the FBM seller. And then we've got these little spikes. Spikes up. We've got spikes up over here. And what that is, that's Amazon chain rotating the buy box between sellers. So you can see we've got the world is yours, and that's £12.94. And this happens because Amazon is deeming that this offer here, this £12.94, is actually a better offer for the customer than this £9.99. And I know that this is more expensive, but the thing with FBM, that means fulfilled by merchant. So that means that distributor will be sending the product to the customer, not Amazon sending the product to the customer. So we're getting a bit of an advantage because we've got that next day delivery. So with faster shipping, and that £2 more, £2.94 more, that is what Amazon's deeming the best offer at the moment. If I'm losing you, let me know and I could go over things again. So these sellers here, this Avant-Garde, they have been on the listing a little while from here. So from March 17th, that's when it looks like they was taking a considerable amount. So they started lowering the price. Let's bring that over again. Why are you not coming over, Sass? Come and join the fun over here, Sass. What, is it because Keeper's in the way? There we are. So, as you can see, that's probably why over the last 90 days, Avant-Garde have been winning the buy box quite a lot. So we're understanding the listing, we're understanding the story of the listing. We've seen that the buy box analysis is highly to Avant-Garde on the 30-day, the 90-day. On the 180-day, it wasn't so saturated by Avant-Garde. And that is because, obviously, they have tanked the price, they've lowered the price, and they're forcing that buy box win. So if you could get your products, because they do share the buy box with FBA sellers, if you could get these products and they're profitable at selling at $9.99, this would be something which you'd consider to jump onto. But when I found them last, which was December 28th December 2024, you could buy 2 of them for £4.50. So they're no longer, I don't think you'll get them that cheap anymore. But let me know. Welcome in, everyone. Make sure you tap the screen, share the live if you can. Tap the screen. Any tips for winning the buy box as a new seller, or best not to compete with highly rated or review seller? It's a good question. So if you go to, let's go to there. I'm just going on TikTok for now because it's just easier access. But in my bio, I'm not 100% sure if you've picked this up. But if you go down here, we have the Analyze and Conquer PDF. So it's a free PDF bundle. What that will do is it gives you 3 free PDFs. Thank you, Kev, for the likes. You've got how to use SellRamp. These PDFs are fairly old, so just bear with them. Take them with a bit of pinch of salt. I do need to update them, to be fair. But it's how to use SellRamp, how to use BuyBot Pro for people who was using BuyBot Pro, and how to win the buy box. If I can, I would see if I could go over the metrics. Let me see if I've got it to hand. No, let me see if it's on my Canva. Just one moment and I could show you the different metrics which Amazon look at. But all these different metrics are kind of take with a bit of pinch of salt, because there is no guaranteed way. It's just that Amazon needs to be comfortable with their choice of who's winning the buy box. I will get that PDF up. One second. Gosh, it's a long time ago, back when I remember. So if you could, I'm sure you guys could see this now. Just let me know if you can see that. Right, so if you zoom in here, right, so it does. You will still be able to win the buy box. I wouldn't avoid any people purposely. It would just be a case of understanding that it might just be a little bit slower to sell. You would still win the buy box, but you could. Yes, see, brilliant. So it like the fulfillment type. This matters. So like I was saying about the FBM seller, he was slower shipping. If you're a FBA seller, you've got more chance of winning the buy box because you're the next day delivery. Sometimes what you notice is you'll have what's called a SFP. I don't know if you would have seen it just yet, but so if you see a SFP, that is called seller fulfill prime. So that works like fulfill by merchant, but they're offering that next day delivery. So they're not as favorable as a FBA seller, but seller fulfill prime they are better than FBM. So you've got your total price. This is total price including shipping. So some seller fulfill some fulfilled by merchant sellers add delivery costs on top of their actual price as well. So you've got to realize that sometimes when you're looking at a price on the charts, that might include $2.99, $3.99 delivery as well. So you've got to be comparing. You've not heard of that yet. It's not really a major issue, and when you do, I would treat them with similar respect to an FBA seller, but not give them the same amount of reputation or whatever. So, this is how old it is. Lower is better. So, total price, lower is better. That one's terrible, isn't it? But the price needs to be matching the current buy box. I wouldn't undercut. That just makes it sound bad. This one does. Like I say, this is an old PDF. I've got a lot wiser in my years on Amazon. But lower is better. So I would be recommending sticking to the buy box price. If you get into using a repricer down the line, never use that option of undercutting by a penny, because all that is going to do is cause what's called a price war, and that's just like a race to the bottom. So the lower is better is not the best way of phrasing it, but the most competitively priced. Let's say that. Shipping time. So this goes fairly well with your fulfillment time. But sometimes when you're sending your products into Amazon, what happens is, let's say I sent in 100. Here we go. Let's say I sent in 100 Palmer's men lotion like this. What that's going to do is go to one fulfillment center, and then it'll spread across the country. So sometimes you could be on a listing with one unit, and your product might be in London, for example, and then somebody in Scotland is purchasing the product, looking to purchase. So if someone's got stock closer, it's very unlikely you're going to actually win the buy box for that customer. And not many people talk about that, but it's obviously more beneficial if you have stock closer to your customer. If you was doing FBM, obviously you've got to try and you reaching certain targets. Order defect rate, that doesn't really affect us for FBA sellers, but if you was doing FBM, your order defect rate is going to be like the criteria you've promised Amazon and you must meet that criteria. Feedback score. Feedback is always hard to get. You will notice this. You can get a software which will help you. So when you place an order, it will automate it. So if you went and got Lonesome Labs, I'm not. There was a rumor going around that they was going to start charging for it, but I haven't seen anything on here, and there's no, there is no kind of pricing on there. So if anyone in the comment is using Lonesome Lamps and they are getting charged, let me know what that cost is, please. But this is a Amazon. What's the correct word terminology? This is. What is the correct word? Did it say it here? It's an Amazon partnered supplier. So software supplier. So you can link this to your Seller Central. And what this does is every time you place an order, it's going to send an email to your customer automatically and say, how did the seller do? What's your product like? And then they'll leave they'll leave a review, either your store or on how well the product performs. And you don't get many reviews at all, but when you do get reviews, make sure they are make sure that they are good ones. But I'd recommend that. If you want me to send you a message, or if you want to message me, I don't know if you can message me on YouTube, but if you want to message me, feel free to message me, and I could. There you go. I'll pin that for you so then you can see it. So that's that one, the feedback score, but you won't get. That's a great tip. I'm full of great tips. I've been doing that. This is week 102. I'm so proud of that achievement, but I've been going live to help the Amazon community for 102 weeks now in a row. So I'm full of useful tips. So feedback score, the higher is better because it's just meaning that Amazon's got more trust in you. But having 0 reviews is not a massive thing. Customer feedback, obviously, customer feedback, the better the score, the better Amazon's going to trust you. So always try and look for 5 stars. If you do get a review which is like 1 star, you can actually appeal that. So if somebody says this cocoa butter actually arrived damaged, it leaked all over the place, I can't use this, 1 star to the seller, that's not the seller's performance, that is actually the product. So you can appeal that and get that 1 star removed from your feedback. Inventory, and these are really low, these ones, but it's more to do with how well you're running your business. So like your stock levels, if you're keeping good stock in there. But for arbitrage sellers like myself, we're always changing our inventory, so it doesn't really matter. But it's more for if you was expanding, going into wholesale, then Amazon, or if you owned your own private label brand, then Amazon's wanting you to obviously make sure that you don't go out of stock. If you go out of stock, that's when they're going to start punishing you a little bit, because they're thinking, this guy doesn't know what he's doing with his own business. But for arbitrage sellers competing against arbitrage sellers, we are all in that same situation, so it doesn't really affect us. Refund rate. So this is more for, I think off the top of my head, it's more for FBM sellers. We do get refunds. When you are selling, you realize that you do get some absolute terrible refunds. But you've got to think that people are going to the biggest marketplace in the world because they think it's Amazon selling them products. So they do feel that, oh, screw the big guy, but it's actually the little guy who suffers. And they don't realize they're doing it because most people don't realize that third party sellers are on Amazon. So you could just refund rate, we're always going to get a refund. Cancellation rate, that is more for a FBM seller because um, once someone places a order with us FBA sellers, we can't cancel that refund. We can't cancel that order unless it was fulfilled by merchant. So we're not going to really see that. But yeah, if you want to get this PDF, it's a free downloadable. There is a link in the bio. Thank you for all the people on YouTube for coming in. Make sure you ask a question. Make sure you get involved. Questions are free to ask. If you need any help, let me know. So does that help, Karen? And while you're here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe button because it does help the channel out. I do this live weekly, just answering any questions you need to know. I do put content on TikTok as well. So if you are on TikTok, we are sharing the screen on YT. But yeah, is there any more questions on that, Karen? Just going to have a sip of my beverage. Good question. Good question. So your account health 200 is perfectly fine. So don't worry about it. If it goes any lower, so if you get what's called, like I said earlier, the IP complaint, that means it will take a hit, and that wouldn't be the best. That's why you always want to try and do your due diligence. Look at that brand, make sure that you are selling that brand. It does go up over time. I think mine is at 256. And when you are selling, you will get lots of different like complaints. Not complaints. I think that's what they're called on the actual Seller Central off the top of my head. You will be get like compliancy complaints. So you might get products where they could be authenticity complaint. So to fight that, you would need to make sure that you keep all your receipts if you was doing retail arbitrage. Try and get invoices for all your online arbitrage products, and that is just giving you that that gives you proof to give to Amazon to say that you've brought your products from a reputable supplier, and that is going to help you fight them sort of complaints off. You will get ones where like the product compliancy complaint. So they'll be asking for some sort of documentations. Because we don't own the brand, we shouldn't really have to supply test certificates. So can you really get an invoice from like Argos? Argos, you get an e-receipt. So when you order online, you get an e-receipt. You don't get an actual VAT invoice. But if you got a IP complaint, you would be able to say, here is my e-receipt from my supplier, and they would be fine with that. If you was trying to get ungated, the e-receipt wouldn't necessarily work. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. If you've got any questions about Amazon, let us know. If you're just here for the bants, make sure you double tap that screen. So you can buy products from a lot of retailers, Karen. So a lot of online retailers like Sports Direct. You could get invoices from Smiths if you order online, but these are the ones which you'll be then like these invoices can be then used to get ungated. When you are getting ungated, you will be asked by Amazon to require to supply an invoice of 10 units or 100 units. Welcome in, Kev. How are we, mate? The live's popping on YouTube today. We've hardly got anyone on TikTok to say that I've been doing most of the stream on TikTok. How are you, Kev? I'm in the process of using wholesale for Ungates. Managed to get Puka, Adidas, Rimmel, Max Factor so far and haven't sold a single item yet. That's brilliant, Karen. But what you need to do now is start selling them products. So it's good getting ungated, and you don't want to fall into this. You don't want to fall into the trap of just looking for ungates. There's no point of that. You've got some really good brands there, really big ones. So like Adidas. I'm not even ungated in Adidas. They want me to supply 100 unit ungate for that, and I haven't like got the ungate for Adidas, but I can sell other sports brands. Rimmel, Max Factor, they're big brands. So what you want to try and do now is start sourcing, finding them products. You could go to like certain websites. You go to certain websites. I'm trying to think of any. Adidas. You could do Sports Direct for Adidas, can't you? Sports Direct. In fact, let's just do things a little bit easier. Welcome, JD. How are we? Log in. This is a demo account, so don't start jumping on my back. I don't know why I did that. Let's go to Sports Direct. Sports Direct. So you could be looking like Sports Direct. You could be trying to find products for Adidas. Usually they've got some sort of trainers. You've got like Speedos here. You could then check that's different product, as you can see from the different logos. Adidas, you've got sliders. You could be selling them, buying them for £2.50, selling them for £12.95. You will have to consider the sizes. Sometimes these sizes will be different. So you've only got a child's 10. Is child's 10 a decent one to look at? What did you retract, Kev? What did you retract? Child 10. So that's out of stock on Amazon. So you might be able to list them as a child 10 and then actually gain a sale because of the summer months. $12.95. Like I say, I would avoid this. We haven't got no proof. So when I was saying this earlier about having a look at this buy box shared, we need that proof. You got any tips on 100 unit ungates, mate? So if you was doing 100 unit ungates, I'll be going on Keeper, looking at the brand, filtering down, so finding out what the cheapest product is selling on Amazon, just to give us a rough idea of what product to be searching for. So, like, if you was doing Peppa Pig, for example, you probably overlook this, but you might be able to get some Peppa Pig, like party hats. You could then buy 100 Peppa Pig party hats, and then possibly see if you could sell a pack of 10 online on Amazon, or then you just sell packs of 10 on eBay, for example. Adidas was only 100 units a few weeks ago, Ash. It's always been 100 units for me since they introduced 100 units. I'm sure it has. Of the perfume variety. So you can be buying lots of different things. Adidas is a good one. Like, if you really wanted to pop into fashion, you've got fashion here. I saw this brand, Nike. I can't remember what it was. Let me double check. You put me on the spot now, Kev. Put me on the spot. I wish that would stop popping over there. Some of these brands which I'm gated in, you probably would have never heard of. You've got to be very tactical with how you place your order, JD. So if it says a pack of 10, they'll need you to do 100 packs of 10. But if you could buy them individually, because some certain suppliers will sell them individually, then you could be doing 100 units. So here's my gated list. These are all the products which I'm gated on. So Adidas is, we've got Canon 100 units, Wearer Tools 10 units, but they offer IPs. I don't even think I've got Adidas on here, have I? No, I don't even have Adidas on here. I know I'm gated in Adidas. Oh, there it is. 100 units, Adidas. So I'm right. 100 units, right there. Zoom it in for you. 100 units, guys. That was for me. So, like I say, ungating is different for everybody. I need to lower that now. I wish I could get ungated on Adidas for 100 units. Amazon rejected me on 100 units with packs of 10. You know, on them packs of 10, is there a individual listing for one unit? So if you had a pack of 10 products, they would then say that is one unit. So if it came as an exact pack of 10, like if you had football boot studs and you had 10 in that pack, that'll be one unit, if that makes sense. But if you purchased, sorry, my eBay's kicking off. It's just bid received, bid received. If you was buying individual football pad shoes studs, then that would be one unit. So it's how it's kind of technically worded, if that makes sense. If you got any questions, fire them away. Hello, Marshmallow. Hello, are you coming to say hello? Come here then. Oh, come on then. Oh. Marsh has come to say hello, guys. Yep, Wolf. Wolf. Can you see him? You got him? Right, there we go. Oh, oh, come here then. Oh. Arnie's also come to say hello as well, guys. So there you go. A little bit of puppy time for you. There we go. Oh, go on then, get down. Oh, good lads. Go on, guys. Oh. Does that make sense, JD? Let me know. Let me know. Don't know if you're still here. Yeah, Amazon can be a little bit funny, Karen. You can see that quite regularly. If you got any more questions, I'll zoom in on me. There we go. Yeah, Amazon can be quite nuisances. Pains in the bums. But I would definitely start getting some sales now. Now you've got some big brands ungated. It's a perfect opportunity to start getting sales. Depending on, like, the more sales you get, you're then starting to gain trust with Amazon. Amazon will then start getting a bit of trust, understanding who you are, what your business is doing, and stuff like that. You're right. I'm ready to do some OARA, but it's finding the product. Should I get Arby sauce? Yeah, I wouldn't recommend Arby sauce at the very beginning. It would be something to recommend later down the line, but you can do. There's different methods of doing sourcing. So let's go over some quick sourcing for you. So if you are on TikTok and you want to come and join me, we are sharing the screen on the tube. Just search FBA today and you'll come and join us on the screen. So there's different methods of doing online arbitrage, Karen. So the first one, which is the most boring, but it can be pretty good. I was going to type it in then. Yeah, we're on the right one. So let's just go to Argos because it's fairly simple to look at. So you'd be targeting the certain clearance sections. So like Argos, go to clearance here. You'd be going to the different categories because you've got like beauty brands, you've got Adidas. You might want to focus on either just health and beauty or sports and leisure. Probably Argos is not the best one to go, but you go sports and leisure. I would be then filtering the brands. So you could look down and have a look, see if Adidas is there, which is Adidas here. Let's just search Adidas. So you've got like Adidas. Then it's just a case of going in, start going through them one by one and having a look, see if you can find that same product on the listing. You can see we've got one here, £12. It's not the best for us. And you'd go through all them products. It is a long task, it's boring, and it's not very sexy. I know. But at the beginning, when you're probably stuck for capital, that is something which you've got to consider. You don't want to get a software which is going to cost you a little bit more money now because it's just gone up in price. You don't want to be getting a software just for the fact of saying I've got a software. So I would start doing like manual sourcing. If you wanted to, you could do a reverse source. So a reverse source is basically just checking if you could get a product for cheaper. So let's say this Adidas hand wrap was actually profitable. You'd then be doing a reverse search. So just basically doing a Google search. Because when you're doing a manual search, you're actually just on one store. So you're not going to get a price comparison against any other stores. So if you buy, before buying any product, you want to be looking at seeing if you've got the cheapest place. So like here, we've got Lovell Sports, which is another £1, 1 pence cheaper. You've got Sports Direct cheaper. So then you could go to them and you'd be then wanting to think about, right, I'm going to Sports Direct. Can I use top cashback? Can I use top cashback on Sports Direct? Because when you're doing online arbitrage, I'm not logged in. If you're doing online arbitrage, you want to be making sure that you start getting cashback for your purchases. So Sports Direct isn't on there. You can find other cashback sites. So there's the likes of Quidco, Complete Savings, but that's another subscription. Higher cashback, but and this cashback does slowly mount up. Have you used complete top cashback yet at all, Karen? And have you heard of this website, Cooper? So, like, we've just looked at top cashback. We can't get any cashback from top cashback, but we've used Cooper, and we could actually get 0.7%. And I know 0.7% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you start spending thousands and thousands, tens of thousands every month, 1% does add up. 1% is another 100 quid. So starting and getting into that routine and trying to get it into our habits, it's just going to pay you dividends in the future. So cashback, you'd apply the rewards. You've got coupons. Sometimes this does coupons as well. So if you went to like Holland and Barrett, I'm sure there's going to be a something in my basket. There always seems to be something in my basket. No, the basket is empty. Brilliant. So, like, you could go to Holland and Barrett, for example. You could be looking at your offers. We've got a 3 for 2 here. You could do that. Let's just bang some. No, that's buy one, get one free, so even better. It's 50% off. So let's just do 10 for the example, if we can. No, is it not let me? Here we go. Right, go to checkout. So we've already saved half of our money on this product. This is just an example. I don't know if it's on Amazon. Then what we could do is use Cooper, and that's now going to go and see if we can save any more money on top of our 50%. Sometimes it used to stack, so I'm not 100% sure if it stacks anymore, because you used to be able to use that buy one, get one free, and then a further percentage off. And then what you could do is sometimes Cooper used to actually offer cashback as well. So you get cashback as well. So you kind of get in 3 lots of discount. But it looks like they've removed the stacking of discount codes because we have abused it. We've got 25% off, 40 quid applied. So yeah, it's already has it taken any more money off? Yeah, it's taken more money off, hasn't it? It didn't tell us on the savings. It usually tells us on the savings. So if this product was on Amazon, this product should be $28.99 per unit, but we've used buy one get one free, so it should be $14.50. Good quick mental maths. Now the product is going to be £10.87. 171 divided by 10. So you're going to be able to get your cost down from $28.99 down to £10.87. And that would be a really good bonus. And that's how you could be doing your online arbitrage, for example. Woohoo! Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. That's the spirit. You could come again. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, brilliant. And there's a spin now as well. Ooh. Is there any more questions? I do end this live at 9 o'clock. If there's nobody else wanting to ask any questions, want any more advice, anything, I will be jumping off. But yeah, it's been good. And if you are on TikTok, we do this live. Is that Crafty? It's Crafty Pauls. Long time no see, good sir. Long time no see. I hope you're well. I hope everything's going fine. As much as possible. I saw your little pumpkin head. display. But yeah, if you have got any questions and you are on TikTok, we are doing the live also at the same time on the tube under the same name, FBA Today. You're welcome to come and you would actually see my screen, what we're actually discussing, what we're going over, everything like that, all the good stuff. There's no question off the cards. But I think we've got... I'm not sure if there's any more people in the YouTube. So I'm going to end the YouTube right now and then we'll continue the conversation if Crafty wants to say anything. Otherwise, I'm going to jump off totally. So I hope you like this video. It's been a good stream. Lots of good questions. I hope you've got your answers. If you haven't got any answers, you can come next week, join us, or pop them in the comments and I'll get back to you when I can. Thank you for jumping in. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Kev. All the other people who's been in here for a while. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. There is free downloadables in the link in my bio. So I'll catch you next week. There is a video out on Thursday at 8 PM on the tube. So cheers. That's that one.